All right, man. We're here with the Break Room Podcast right here live at the Enzone 707 Tournament 2024. If you've been following us for a while, thank you so much. You've been following. Thank you for all your support. We are the reason we are back here today. Shout out to Gordon. Shout out to Clay Mack, man, for having us back here again. We are here again, man, for the third year in a row, man. The biggest 707 tournament in Texas. One of the biggest ones in the nation. We're out doing mic'd up players. We're going to get it mic'd up with different players, interviews with different coaches. Last year, we got a couple of NBA stars. We got some NFL stars out here. Ron McKinney joined us last time. 24/7 Sports joined us last time. Rashad Bell joined us last year when we were out there, man. So there's no telling who you're going to see, who you're going to meet, who you're going to run into. So we just thank you for being here with us. Like and share it. Send it to somebody who want to see it, who wants to be involved with the tournament, who wants to see what's going on. Tune in, tap in, and holler at us. Again, you'll probably see a comment bar. Comment if you want us to talk about anything specifically or focus on the team. If you know a team that's out here at the tournament, or you have kids, nephew, brothers, cousins, whoever they might be, get out here, comment on below, and we'll tap in with them and get them on the show. We're just getting right into it. Man, so the NFL season has concluded. But we are now tapping into not just the NFL season, college football is in it, high school football is in it. Now we get into 7-on-7. If you tapped in with us last time, we talked to Colin Kennedy, who covers Oklahoma for 24/7 Sports. We talked about the NIL deals. We talked about the college transfer portal. We talked about high school recruitment. We talked about college going to the NFL. We talked about the entire process. I'm going to get into some more of that today. Just kind of recap a little bit more. So about last year and about these high school kids and their journey into college, how the landscape has changed. We ran into, even our first year, we ran into, I want to say DB for the Vikings, Elijah. Oh, Caleb Elijah. Caleb the name. Excuse me if I'm butchering his name. But yes, we talked about the transition from high school to college ball and how nowadays you might have some kids or even some families that they start off one way. Kid goes to high school normally, right? They go to one school that they might be zoned to, but even like recruitment has become so crazy nowadays. Guys will move from one high school to another. And that'll change the entire landscape of what they're doing. Different UIL, not NIL. The high school rules of transferring has changed. We'll talk about that process. That process looking like this. School players have now, of course, high school coaches cannot recruit players. High school players are now becoming eligible once they transfer at different high schools because now you have some schools trying to monopolize talent. Now, back in the day, if you used to play anywhere from, if you graduated anytime before, I want to say 2012, that wasn't a thing. You could transfer or go along wherever you needed to be. Teams could kind of monopolize talent. And, that used to be a thing for really small town schools. So if you're from Texas, you think about Sealy High School or El Campo or things like that. Schools that kind of just were centralized in these isolated locations where that was only high school in the area, so you kind of had to go. It made sense for them. But nowadays, and of course, we're not going to say to any school, but you have teams like North Shore, Tasmania, these powerhouse schools, six-day schools that players now they kind of apply to. Not only do the schools have cachet, but the coaches do as well. And Caleb Carter, right here, he's in the break room with me. So you can't see him. He's also you can't see him right now, but he's producing in the background. With the high school team that's changing up and players moving around from school to school. What do you feel like the landscape of high school football has become in the past few years?
Yeah, I mean, you made some great points. I really think the high school landscape is really changing in the fact that, for the most part, we used to see the corporate talent, they used to migrate to the private schools or these powerhouses like a North Shore in Houston, a Modern Day in California, IMG Academy. We try to see them because those were the schools that got most of the recruiting looks. But now we see these recruiters, they're coming around and making sure to send these scouts to any high school. So we now just see, and then you have tournaments like these where they can have that further exposure outside of high school, so they don't necessarily need to go to these other powerhouse high schools. So I think the high school landscape is kind of balancing itself out, kind of similar to what we're seeing with the college game. But when we see Coach Nick Saban retire, many people think that because of the NIL and the transfer portal, the playing field has begun to balance itself. So I think that's similar to what we're saying in the high school landscape.
Yeah, so I completely forgot about that. Now that you mentioned it, I almost had to double back and change my feet at the same time. So going off what you said, with the parity in college football, that's kind of it's become like a trickle down economics effect. It's kind of becoming the high school too. So we were talking to. I met at a little event yesterday for the media day before the Enzone tournament happened. And yes, the Enzone 707 tournament has a media day. When media gets together, we get to mingle and talk. And so I met a guy, and he scouts for Texas Live. And he makes an entire list, and that list extends from 6A football all the way down to 6-man football. You know, back in the day, any time before maybe like 2013, 2012, 6A football was almost considered not football by most, because like, oh, it's not 11 on 11, things like that. But now, with the scouting that's evolved over time and everything that's changed and progressed, people are getting recruited from everywhere. And really, it starts at different events like this. 707 tournament. They might walk out of here with a scholarship. Who knows? Everything changed. And that from high school football and spring leagues, all that, you'll see things grow over time. And that's just like, it's a beautiful thing, really, because people back in the day, they couldn't have imagined stuff like this happening. 707 tournament. We'll show you clips if you follow our page on the Break Room Podcast, on Instagram at the.breakroom.podcast on Instagram, the Break Room Podcast 1 on Facebook. And it'll be on your screen. Yeah, it'll be on your screen. The Break Room HOU on X or Twitter. I know it's the ongoing joke, but however you call it, whatever you call it. You'll see different footage, different film. We have mic'd up on players. You're watching this, you're probably on YouTube right now, so you'll see different things like that. And more from high school now to college can't talk to me. So with the parity that's changed over college, you talked about Nick Saban retirement. Possibly the greatest coach to ever coach college football ever. Now with the transfer portal that's still going on right now, what do you feel like? What do you think that has done to the recruitment of high school players?
I mean, I think it's really changed the landscape, because you got to think about it. It's not just the transfer portal, but it's NIL, right? So these kids, they're not all the time talking about, you know, hey coach, am I gonna play on the team? Am I gonna start on the team? They're coming to the coaches asking, hey coach, how much money can I get from NIL? You know what I'm saying? And then if that prospect doesn't seem too good, then you just got to be worried about if they creep out the back door with the transfer portal, right? So I mean, coaches already have to be salesmen when it came to recruiting. But I think that has increased ever more so now during this time with the transfer portal and NIL being as big as it is.
Yeah, so I agree with you, man. In all honesty, I'm one of the guys, like, I'm not on, I want to say I'm not on the side of the coaches, but in all honesty, I don't really hear too much for that complaining. Coaches have been able to not fulfill their contracts, leave to other schools, retire whenever, you know, and get no kind of shame for that. People almost applaud them for finding someone else to help and an opportunity for themselves. The players have just been left. Now players can do the same thing. So we talk about, oh, coaches have to retain their players. Players have never had the opportunity to try to retain their coaches. Coaches will leave from college to college, or college to the league, or college and retire.
And Trey, I hate to cut you off, but just think about it like this. We just saw Washington in the national championship. Absolutely. After Nick Saban retired, Kalen DeBoer, head coach of Washington, didn't let the team know. He just said, hey guys, I'm going to Alabama. You'll find out on Twitter. You'll find out on Instagram. Didn't have a meeting with the team. So that's a shining example of how we see coaches and their turnover in college, and now we're beginning to see players do it. But the thing about the players that has changed the game is the frequency at which they can do it compared to the coaches, right? Because we see kids hop in the transfer portal before bowl season starts, right? So they don't even get to play the bowl with the team that they played the entire regular season with. So now they get to hop in the transfer portal, and that I do see how that can be a bit unfair to the team and the coach.
Yeah, so my fault talking to one of our guys. Matter of fact, Max, come here, come talk to me.
Music and more top shelf rap and R&B only on Pandora. Type here to listen.
So what's good? All right, get in the camera, man. Is it? All right, so this is Max. He's also helping out the Breakroom Podcast today, but he's also with the Level Up, right?
Level Up ESP Podcast.
All right, so speaking about that, we were just talking about transfer portal, what that's doing to college.
Okay.
With that being said, you talked about the Washington coach leaving Washington, going to now the new Alabama head coach.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Kevin, what was your point? What was your follow-up point about college football? Oh yeah. So you talked about the transfer portal and NIL. Coaches are coming to players are coming to coaches asking how much they can get. But also, initially it was just players coming to coaches saying, "Oh, when am I going to play?" You know, you go to bigger schools, probably you're going to have to sit, and you know, the more time you have on the field, the more likely you build footage, you can grow as a player, et cetera, et cetera. We all know that. But also now it's even trickle down to high school that players are jumping from team to team or school to school when they can play sooner. Do you feel like
that's not even the transfer report? Like you gotta wait all that time to play. You gotta keep on moving around. You only got like four, five, maybe if you redshirt. You used to play football. I mean, why are you gonna keep on traveling to different schools to do that? Especially in high school. Like high school, you should really only be at one school, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to grow. And so you know what? A tough question I always ask people when I run into them is that, do you feel that football will ever outgrow school? Meaning that we talk about transferring and the transfer portal. Right. Not only that, even in high school football, they can only transfer so much before they're ineligible for some games or they're eligible some years. When we talk about the growth and the change of football and the way it's been, because like now, it used to be back in the day, we were talking to some ex-NFL guys, back in the day, it used to just be, okay, they go to school, the degree used to be the focus.
Yeah.
But now every kid has the dream to go to the league because I don't want to say it's become more possible. It's the same likelihood, less than 1% will make it.
Right.
The draft only has 16,000 spots, or 1,600 spots, excuse me. So even with that being said, and like the NIL, we talked about that. Do you feel that will it ever become a thing to where it's so much money being moved around that football will ever outgrow the school because the focus is no longer the degree? Kids will take basket weaving 5 times, you know what I mean, just to maintain their eligibility.
Right.
So, what do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know, because like with basketball, right? Like all you gotta do is really play 1 year of basketball. Not even that really anymore. So
you go overseas for a little bit.
So I do think they will get outgrown probably eventually. I hope not, because I do think get your education, get that degree. You got a scholarship, you might as well use it.
Yeah.
Go to school. And like the NFL, like that's gonna be cool and all, but like, what if you get injured? You're not stuck. So, and
honestly, like exactly what you said, I think the NFL, like a lot of NFL college players, need to learn one day, and high school players will know, football will end one day. It just will. I mean, I hate to get so morbid and dark, but it's just like life. You know what I mean? We don't live forever. We will get old one day.
Yeah. Like my pops, he played in the NFL. He played for like 2 years. He got took out early because of injury.
Mm-hmm. And so it just happens just like that. And so the degree is your background. The degree is to help you. It's to kind of get you ready so you have some skills to where you can go into the workforce after that and kind of just have something to build on. You don't want to be the guy. You don't want to be the guy who played, balled out, have his money, and
working at Kroger's,
and then doesn't know what to do with it. Exactly. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing. Like, there's so many programs out there. So we advise not even NFL guys, because you might not want to listen to us. Even the college guys, we play college ball. We can tell you about that. Use your resources. Extend yourself. You want to make yourself available to all these programs. Actually, you got anything else you want to add to that?
No, sir. No, sir.
My man right here. Actually, you mind coming on? I know. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. We had some ex-leaguers that was talking to us. We were talking earlier at our media event prior to, and they were talking about how it's important for current leaguers, even college football players, to have something to build on, to get the degree, have some extra skills. So when football does end, and it will eventually end for you, whatever level you're talking about, college football or in the pros, that you have some skills to fall back on. Go into your programs, whatever programs are offered to you, lean on those. Have some other players that you're friends with or cool with, coaches, so you can have some resource to help you kind of continue living. Life doesn't stop after football, it continues. All right, and so we're going to take a break right there. That's been the Break Room Podcast. Follow us on the Break Room, HOU on X, the.breakroom.podcast on Instagram, and the Break Room Podcast 1 on Facebook. If you're watching right now, you're already on YouTube. So continue. We'll be right back. And give us about an hour. We'll be right back. Y'all take care.